Hi everyone, just thought I would do a collective video rather than doing the ring around or actually getting on a Zoom. It's easier just to just have a bit of a general chit chat here. So firstly, I wanted to just thank you all for your support over the last couple of weeks. As you know, because you all know that I was in a pretty bad way. But looking forward to Saturday night, and I'm pretty confident that it'll be a great show for me. I'm feeling about probably 70% at the moment, and over the next couple of days, if I can get that to 80 to 85, I think we'll be fine, and I think they'll be fine. I've been out and about for the last couple of days, just in short bursts. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm not feeling weak, and the main thing is I think that the infection's gone. So without extending the point too much, all of your support has meant the world. It's really humbling, and also just something that means the world. So on that note, thanks. I really appreciate it. All right, let's get to Saturday. I've spoken to each of you and flicked you each individually what the setup is for Saturday. So I want to just go and recap those points so that everyone's aware. So in terms of the setup for Saturday, load-in is going to be at 1:30 through loading bay number 2, and I'll confirm that address tomorrow, but I would expect that would be the same loading dock last time. So 1:30 is 1:30. It's not 1:45 or 2 for those that simply want to stretch the friendship. Everyone needs to be on time, and I really can't stress that enough because we're going to be working to a very strict time schedule. So for those of you, and there's a couple of you that occasionally like to stretch the friendship by getting there a little bit late, please don't. And enough said. Secondly, load-in and setup will be from 1:30 till 3:30. So whilst that sounds like a fair whack of time, as you know, when you get into it, it's not. So when we end up loading upstairs, can I just ask everyone to buckle down, get yourself set up as quickly as you can, rather than doing what has tended to happen and what we're slipping back into, and that is everyone gets upstairs, they stand around nattering, chit-chatting, noodling on their guitars, mucking around with their gear, and then when it comes time to sound check, it's hang on, I'm not ready, hang on, I'm not ready. I need to reverse that situation around, and I need everyone gets the message, but I need everyone to really buckle down and just get in there, get set up, focus on your own stuff. Don't worry about what anyone else is doing, because at 3:30, we're going to have a fold back check. So as per last year, we have a dedicated fold back tech, and we'll be running the same fold back as what we did last year. There'll be no in-ears, it'll be wedges for everyone, because that's the easiest way to get it done. And so we will run a full fold back check before we do a full sound check. And so the full fold back check is the time where you can muck around, you can do whatever you want to do, you can noodle, you can get your stuff right, but that's going to be half an hour, and half an hour should be plenty for everyone to get what they need because everyone's fold back is fairly set. At 4 o'clock on the dot, not 5 minutes, 10 minutes because people are still tuning their guitars or mucking around with their gear. 4 o'clock on the dot, we're actually going to go and we're going to play for a full hour from 4 till 5. And when we play for a full hour, I want to set the tone and I want to set the expectation that when we play, we're playing songs from start to finish. We're not starting songs, and if someone's not happy with their fold back, then they start waving around and flapping their wings, and then all of a sudden the song stops. That's between 3:30 and 4 for you to get it right. If there are any minor tweaks that need to get done, then at the end of the song, not during the song, then we can stop for a couple of minutes, make a couple of tweaking adjustments, which I'm sure that there will be, and then we can then get straight into the next song. But I want to be specific in the fact that I want to play songs through. That's not only for our benefit, but it's also going to be for Corey's benefit out the front as well too, because he needs his own time to make sure that he is perfect, given the fact that he is mixing us for the first time. So it's really, really important that we understand that framework, and I will be a bit of a sergeant on that, and if anyone starts flapping their wings during those songs, it'll be stop, it'll be no stop, keep playing. So please, I'm really on a mission to make sure this works the way that it needs to, and everyone knows that. Okay, cool. Next step is that we will finish at 5 on the dot, and then from there I'm going to probably hang around for 15 or 20 minutes and do what I did with Rick last time. This time it will be Eden and Eden's dad on the video screens. I'm just going to make sure that the screens and the videos are set. But between 5 and 6 will be the time that if you guys want to zip down to the food court and get some dinner, you can get some dinner. I think that I've told Caroline and Michael and Chris, but I don't think I've let Nina and Glenn know, but I've pulled the trigger on a full video crew that's going to be there on Saturday night. So we will be getting filmed. There'll be a 2-camera shoot that's actually happening. For those that want to know who it is, when we did the Brighton Beach Hotel, you may remember a lady running around taking videos at the side of the stage who was the head of social media for the hotel. She happens to be a friend and a work colleague of mine. Her name is Cindy Wilson. She owns a social media agency called Vision Creators, and so her and her team have been engaged for the night. Cindy will be there coordinating the 2 camera crews. And as far as the photographer goes, Adam Burridge, who is Adam from New Year's Eve, Clayhead Photography, he'll also be there taking shots as well too. So in terms of the setup, between 5 and 6 will be dinner. And then from there, Cindy wants to do some interviews and just some backstage stuff. So I've told her the best time to do that would probably be somewhere around about 6:45 to about maybe 7, or 6:40 till about 7. So for the ladies who need to get ready makeup wise, it would be very, very handy if you could be ready by about 6:30, 20 to 7, so that Cindy can come in and do her stuff. There'll be obviously video. There'll be a video camera on stage, a cameraman on stage and a cameraman off stage for both sets, and then I'll be doing some filming out in the foyer to get people's reaction at the end. So I'm really, really excited for that, and we should be as well too, because we're going to get an amazing promo video. So those are the 2 major announcements. Also wanted to just have a quick chat about the structure for the night when we actually get into the sets. We have had a very, very different lead up to this particular Crown show for a million different reasons versus what we did last year when we were uber focused and rehearsing on a weekly basis. So I trust that, and I know that everyone's been going over their material really, really well. So again, I'm grateful for that. I just want to make the point that over the last 3 shows, and obviously I haven't been real well over the last 3 shows, but I want to make the point that when we get to the venue, once we're set up, and I'm particularly in reference to the guitars, the gear and how you sound is not the focus. That's the stuff you should be working on now, because it's been pretty obvious, and I say this with the greatest of respect, but it's been pretty obvious that the gear issues over the last 2 or 3 shows have been a major distraction on stage, and it's resulted in a lot of mistakes, and it's resulted in quite a few missed parts or ad-lib parts when they should have been precise. I say that with love and respect, but we've got to call it for what it is, and that's because the focus has been on the tech and not on the performance. So I want to be respectful, but I want to also be direct in the fact that once we do sound check, the gear is the gear, but I need everyone's heads to focus on the show. And when I mean show, I mean delivering note perfect as we were last year. Everyone delivers exactly the way that they should, note for note, no ad-lib, no mucking around. Everyone's ready to go. And the other aspect is too that if for some reason during the show that your fold back or your sound is not right, it's absolutely vital. And I know that we should all know this, but it's been evident over the last few weeks that it hasn't happened. People start dialing in on the tech right in the middle of a song rather than actually worrying about the fact that on Saturday they'll have 900 people in front of them. So I need people to really just take on board where their focus needs to be and not get dialed in on the fact that it's 1% off. So what? Move on. Deliver the show. It's really important that we deliver the show and that we're note perfect, because it's very obvious to me, and it has been obvious to me even when I've been crook. I can still notice it, that when people start focusing on their tech, whether it's their foldback, whether it's their guitar sounds, whether it's their pedal board, things get missed and mistakes get made, and that's when we lose those 1%ers. So enough said on that, but I think everyone knows what I'm talking about. And as I said, I give that to you all with love and respect, but it's a straight conversation. There's a lot riding on Saturday night and people need to be on their game. All right, so that's that. Moving on, in relation to the flow of the songs, we all know our parts, and particularly for the front three who are on the microphones. Again, we have 2 1-hour sets. We have to finish at 10. So in relation to your introductions to your songs, do it beautifully as you normally have, but there are a couple of songs that are, the intros to those songs are turning into more monologues that sound a little bit like This Is Your Life, and we simply don't have the time. So again, succinct, to the point, and let's just keep the show rolling. Otherwise, we're going to run over time. We're not going to finish when we need to finish, because remember, we've only got a half an hour break. We're going to come off stage and all of a sudden we're going to have 15 minutes before we have to go back on again, which is not enough of a break. So just ask the front three to be very mindful about making sure that they are perfect, as you guys always are, but also don't extend or ad-lib for the sake of just doing it, because we need to keep rolling, because the clock is always ticking. And that's fine. I know you guys all know what you mean, but I just need to reinforce it, because our sets over the last 2 or 3 weeks, but even in the gigs before that, they've started to go well over an hour, and it's simply because of the fact that the monologues in between songs are getting longer and longer, and that's where we're losing time. So again, enough said about that. I think that there's a couple of other tick points I want to get to. I want to specifically talk about the start of the second set. I need everyone to be off stage when Nina is on stage in the wings. And this time, Mike, that also means you, no jumping on stage to grab your guitar. If you need to tune your guitars, as I've spoken to you about, mate, jump off stage. Make sure you've got a tuner and a guitar stand in the wings and do it off stage. But when Nina is on stage for Songbird, absolutely no one on stage. And then when she finishes, we'll all roll on. Now, I know that might seem like an obvious statement, but it didn't happen last year. So I'm speaking into that to make sure it happens this year. When we get to the end of the night, same as what we did last year, everyone off. Chris comes back on to introduce the band. We come to the end of the night, and then we all finish Don't Stop and then get out to do a bow. And then away we go. I think that in relation to, obviously all of us are going to have family there. And if we end up using the microphone to thank every one of our families and all of us do it, then we're all going to be there for about 20 minutes. So again, I think that there just needs to be a collective thank you to family and friends and move on, not name everyone individually. I know that I did that last year. I know that there are a few other people that did that. The challenge is that the people without the microphone they're not afforded the same luxury. So I think that it's either we don't do it, or if we do it, then it's just simply one person that says, on behalf of the band, all of our family and friends are here, you know who you are, we'd like to give you a huge thank you, without actually naming everyone individually. And I think that's probably the best way to do it. So I know this might seem like a little bit of micromanaging, and I suppose, to be honest with you, it is, because there are some things that haven't been right. There are some things that have been slipping. And so I did say to you over a year ago that 95% of the time we would be fine, but there would be 5% of the time where I would come in and just be a fraction directive, because I want things to be right. And so this is a part of that conversation. I don't give it to you in a really, really directive way. I give it to you in just a really love and respectful way. I know everyone's on point, and I want everyone to take this message the right way, because it's meant with love, care and respect. But there is a lot riding on Saturday night, and I need people to be in the game. I know everyone's excited, but when you get there, the question's going to be, where's your focus going to be? Is it going to be on delivering a show? Is it going to be on your gear? Is it going to be walking around on stage, walking around backstage, mucking around, being nervous? Or is it going to be dialing in on exactly making sure that when we're on stage, it's not the gear and it's not everything else, it's the actual performance that we need to be focusing on. And again, I know that's an obvious statement, but outside of the last 3 shows and maybe for a couple before that, we all say that we know, but it hasn't actually happened that way. So I just want to make sure that everyone's on point. And to finish with, as it stands right now, the time is about 8 o'clock. on Thursday night. And when I get the ticketing report through, which will be about midnight tonight, I would probably expect that we'd be around maybe 750 or 760, which means that we'll probably get over 800. And I think that's a win in anyone's language. I want to finish on a couple of positives anyway. And I think that one of the things that we haven't given ourselves a pat on the back for anywhere near enough is that we're going to probably get over 800 in the venue, and we'll take that any day of the week, because one thing that hasn't been discussed anywhere near enough is that 12 weeks ago, Nina and myself and Caroline and Michael actually went to see another Fleetwood Mac show who came down from Sydney, and they also packed out Palms as well too. So it's only been 12 weeks, 13 weeks ago that another Fleetwood Mac show played at Palms, and for us to be able to fill the room, given the economic climate, given the nature of people's household expenditures, which is literally through the floor at the moment and people aren't going out, given the fact that costs are flying, marketing costs for this gig have gone through the roof, and also given the fact that we are in a situation where not only 12, 13 weeks ago another Fleetwood Mac show played there, I think it's a huge effort. So I just wanted to say thank you again for all your help, all your friendship and all your support. Please take this message in the right way. Please, no one crack the shits. It's not meant to be one of our crack the shits messages. It's meant to be a tick box message so that everyone stays on point. And I'm sure that everyone is, so it shouldn't be a problem. But we had these conversations last year face-to-face. We won't get a chance to have them face-to-face before the show. So I want to just make sure that everyone is where they need to be. If I turned my computer around at the moment, you would see that my drum kit is completely set up, and I've been practicing and practicing away madly. So couldn't be more excited and couldn't be happier to play with quite literally the best bunch of people that I've ever had the privilege of playing with in my life. So thank you all, bless you all, and let's look forward to an amazing gig on Saturday night. Bye for now.